Have you ever caught yourself thinking you're living on autopilot? You wake up, do what you're supposed to do, say what's acceptable, get through the day, and on the surface, everything looks fine. But inside, something strange starts to grow, like your life is drifting in the wrong direction, like you're sitting in the passenger seat of your own car, and someone else is steering. And the weirdest part isn't even that you feel bad sometimes, it's that you don't understand why. You're trying. You have a job. You have plans. You have goals. And yet, every now and then, you look at yourself from the outside and think, was I really walking toward this? Is this who I was supposed to become? Then you look at someone else, and you see how everything seems to work out for them. They're doing almost the same things you do, living in the same world, the same reality, same resources, same days, same problems. But for them, everything clicks into place, like their road is lit up, like the world assembles itself around them. People help, events guide them, opportunities show up on their doorstep, and you can't help asking, why is it like that for them and different for me? What are they doing differently? Where did I turn the wrong way? Here's the key point. It's not about who got lucky, not about who's smarter, not about who works harder. It's about what timeline you're standing on right now, because fate is not one road. It's a whole forest, where every moment you choose a path, even when you think you're not choosing, and when you choose unconsciously, life starts choosing for you. Let's be honest. If destiny were one straight road, we'd live like a train on rails, from childhood to death strictly on schedule. One script, no branches, no freedom, and most importantly, no responsibility. They'd tell you, and here's your life, here's your line. Suffer or enjoy it, whatever happens. And that would be it. But reality isn't like that. You've seen how everything can change because of tiny things. One conversation, one meeting, one yes or one no. One night when you decided not to text someone. One day when you suddenly believed in yourself. Or the opposite. You broke. You gave up. You deflated. In a single moment, you didn't go where you wanted to go. You stayed silent when you wanted to speak. You chose the easier option. You avoided risk. You betrayed yourself. You lost faith in yourself for no big reason. And in that moment, you think, whatever, it's nothing. Nothing changed. But 6 months later, you suddenly realize you're living in a place you never planned to be, with people you never truly chose, in a state you don't even recognize yourself in. That is a timeline. Not as a prediction, as a trajectory. Imagine life as a game with countless branches. Not in the sense of everything is fake, but in the sense that reality is flexible, and it's built by your repeating choices. A timeline is what you reinforce. Here's how it works. A thought repeats and becomes a belief. A belief influences a choice. A choice forms a habit. A habit becomes a lifestyle. A lifestyle becomes your reality. So you don't end up on a timeline by accident. You assemble it. The most dangerous part is this: you don't choose your line once. Not on your birthday. Not only in big life decisions. You choose it every day. With every reaction. With every whatever, with every I can't, with every later, with every I'll endure, with every fine, like everyone else. A jump to a new branch is usually quiet. It almost never looks like a movie. Most of the time it's a small shift inside, like one day you refused, just a little. You didn't tolerate, just a little. You chose yourself, just a little. And that's it. The line trembles. And right there is your power. If a timeline is built with small steps, then it can be changed with small steps too. Now listen carefully. The failure timeline almost never looks like failure. It looks like a normal life. You work, you try, you even smile sometimes. You do your duties. You didn't disappear. You're living. But inside there's a feeling that life is passing you by. You're not in it. You're just servicing it. Why? Because the failure branch starts with calm phrases, phrases that sound reasonable, mature. even wise. All right, I'll endure. Now isn't the time. I have to be correct. The main thing is not to risk. I don't deserve more. That's how it is for everyone. And that everyone is the Matrix's favorite drug. Because the moment you compare yourself to people who are asleep, you start sleeping too. The system doesn't break you instantly, it does it beautifully, quietly. Under the mask of care, it tells you, don't stand out. It's dangerous here. Wait. Prepare. Everything is unstable right now. You're not ready yet. You're dreaming too big. Life is hard. Accept it. And you agree. Because it sounds logical. But here's what matters. The failure timeline isn't about you being weak. It's about you not being you. 3 signs you're addicted to it. First, you choose what isn't yours, not because you're forbidden, but because you're trained. You were taught, do what you should and what you want later. And when you live like that for years, you stop hearing yourself. You stop recognizing what's yours and what's chujoi, what was implanted. Second, fear is disguised as being reasonable. You don't take the step because you're careful. You don't speak the truth because you're mature. You don't begin something new because you want stability. It all sounds logical, but inside it's not life, it's survival. The failure timeline is always calm and cold. It doesn't hit you right away. It just slowly puts out your inner fire. Third, you pour your energy into the wrong place, into conflict that isn't yours, into news that triggers you, into judging other people's lives, into endless battles for approval, into guilt, into constant proving, and the system loves it because you're busy, you're living all day. But in reality, you're draining your fuel all day. The Matrix always offers the failure branch as the safe one. But remember this, safety without meaning is a slow death of the self. And if one day you realized you're living someone else's script, that means you've already woken up. That's an important sign. Now let's talk about the main success line. People love to romanticize it. He got lucky. Fate likes her. He's just lucky. But in reality, it looks different. The success line is resonance between you and reality. It's when you finally match yourself on the inside, and the world begins to match you on the outside. You don't become successful because the system decided to reward you. You become successful because you return to your nature. And it's important to understand, success isn't only money. Success is when you wake up without heaviness, when you do what matches your core, when you feel growth, when you see meaning, when you stop breaking yourself to fit someone else's rules. Here are the signs you're on the success line. 1. Reality starts responding. You stopped lying to yourself and suddenly you have options. It can be very obvious. The moment you finally told yourself the truth, it's like a door opened in your life. You didn't beg, you didn't chase, you simply aligned with yourself. And space starts sending signals. People call it coincidence, but it's not randomness. Reality reacts to your inner clarity. 2. You waste less energy. On this branch, you stop feeding what's unnecessary. You don't fall for cheap conflicts. You recognize manipulation faster. You stop trying to be liked by everyone. You're not afraid of being inconvenient. You collect strength instead of scattering it into chaos. 3. You move with clarity. Not because you have a perfect 10-year plan, but because you know, what I'm doing right now is mine. I know why I'm doing it. Yes, the success line still has pain, but it's living pain, growth pain, expansion pain, the kind of pain after which you become bigger, not humiliation pain where you get smaller every day. 4. The most important thing in destiny is the switching points, and everyone has them. Sometimes they're big events, moving, divorce, changing jobs, illness, the death of someone close. But more often, they're small moments you don't even consider important. Little critical points like these. You wanted to say no, but you said fine. You felt someone's toxicity, but you stayed. You knew it wasn't yours, but you chose it out of habit. You wanted to start, but you postponed it for later. You went where you don't belong because, well, what else can I do? And here's what's scary. The switch happens inside before it happens outside. First, your frequency changes. First, your inner script changes. And only then does reality adjust on the outside. That's why after a certain moment you sometimes feel something is different now. Yes, because the line is already different. Remember this formula. A timeline doesn't change because of an event. A timeline changes because of your state. State is the cause. The event is the result. Now the practice. No magic. No just believe. The transition is simple, but it requires honesty. Step 1. Take back your right to want. As long as you want what's correct, you're on someone else's branch. The moment you want what's truly yours, the line starts moving. Ask yourself, am I living right now because I want to, or because it's expected? The answer is often uncomfortable, but reality loves truth. Step 2. Stop feeding the failure line. The failure branch lives on attention. What you feed grows. Where do you live emotionally? Complaints, drama, resentment, fear, anger, the past, those places always build a shrinking line. The point isn't, don't feel. The point is, don't build a house out of it. Feel it, understand it, release it, not, feel it, spin it, and call it the meaning of your life. Step 3. One small, honest choice. The universe isn't waiting for you to rewrite your whole life in one jump. It's waiting for the first honest action in your direction. Small, but real. Say no. Choose yourself. Leave what drains you. Take one step toward the place that scares you, but feels alive. And yes, where it's scary is often where your growth is. But don't confuse types of fear. There is fear that protects your body and safety. That's real. And there is fear that protects the system. What if they judge me? What if I fail? What if I can't handle it? That is a program. And that's exactly where you need to go. Because behind that fear, your power is waiting. Whatever the system is preparing, whatever scripts it runs around you, whatever levels it throws at you, everything revolves around one thing: your energy. Your energy is the most valuable resource in this world, because wherever you direct it, your timeline assembles there. If you give your energy to fear, you build a shrinking line. If you give your energy to yourself, you build a growth line. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for your attention and your awareness. Stay on your best branch. Watch where you direct your thoughts, your emotions, and your energy. See you in the next video. Wishing you blessings, clarity, and a strong timeline. Bye.